If you want to become a successful trader, ask around. Mental resilience. But what is mental resilience? When the market gets tough, we need to stick to our trading plan like a glue. Manage risk wisely. If you have a proven trading plan, strategy, set of rules that works for you, stick to it. We need to understand that losses are part of the trading game, but with grit, passion, and perseverance, we keep on going, we keep winning, and we become successful traders. Hey there, Tamir from Fibonacci-Traders.com here with the daily market recap. You know what to do, like, subscribe. Let's see the charts. So, how was your first day? Q4 of 2023. Let me know in the comments below, what are your plans for the rest of this quarter? SPY, Doji, indecision, above the 423 holding as support, 429 holding as resistance. Let's see, can we get bounce towards the 436? Because we have a double bottom scenario, we need to wait for a close above the 429. Then we can start thinking, taking some longs on the SPY towards this gap over here, managing our risk according to Fibonacci levels and ATR. QQQ, 0.8 to the upside, very nice relative strength today on the Qs. Overall, still in a downtrend, 361 holding as resistance. We have a gap at the 364. Let's see if we can close it tomorrow, and then 367 to the upside will be the next resistance. Going back down, 354 will be the major support that needs to hold. It was a very interesting level of resistance over here, support over here, support over here. Below it, we can see this gap with high probability during October will get filled, the 333. Dow Jones sliding down slowly on this yellow trend line. We still have an open gap at the 332 area, but we have a doji off a trend line, which is the most significant signal that a trend reversal might be coming. But it's still early. We need a validation for this doji. Only a close above 337, and then we are heading towards the 344 gap. Overall, look left. Dow Jones is still in bearish land. IWM back to the 174, closed below it. Bulls needs to hold above it, otherwise we are going to close the gap at the 171 with a touch over here, breaking below the 171. Next is 167, and if Qs showed relative strength, the IWM, the Russell 2000, continues to show relative weakness. Bitcoin, this is why I say it doesn't matter what you trade, whether it's cryptos, forex, ETFs, futures, stocks, on any time frame, all you need to do is understand trend lines, Fibonacci, and of course the relationship with candlestick analysis, aka pure price action. This trend line we drew few days back, few weeks back already, and here you have it, 27,300 from resistance over here, support, resistance, resistance, now support. But we have this very tough yellow trend line that helps us to identify the lower highs since middle of July, peak of July. So until we won't have at least 2-3 days closing above this yellow trend line, above the 28,130, we are still bearish on Bitcoin. Ethereum went up, went down 1650 from resistance, now becoming support in the past few days. Let's see if it can hold. Failing to hold, look down. We have all these levels to the downside. Let's see if this one can hold and back towards the 1730 But if we look left, we have this purple trend line that helps us to identify that since peak of April, we are in a downtrend. Lower lows, lower highs until proven otherwise. Crude oil still in an uptrend, but 87.70 needs to hold together with this yellow trend line. Otherwise, we are heading back to this red box. This red box, you all know it because you saw previous videos in the past few weeks or so on crude oil. It was a very tough resistance. Now, price needs to retest it as support before the next leg up. If we will get the next leg up, let's clean the chart a little bit. All this area needs to hold the support. It was a very tough resistance. And let's see if 87.80 can hold. Natural gas. If you watched previous videos and the pre-market preparations, we said that all gaps on natural gas got filled in the past. So this gap will get filled, and now natural gas back below the 280. The 280, very tough resistance since it broke to the downside beginning of this 2023. Now 278 needs to hold, otherwise the way closing this gap will be very steep to the downside. Apple with a very nice 1.5% to the upside, now at the 173.80, which is also the 50% retracement. Overall, still in a downtrend, lower highs, lower lows until proven otherwise, and we need to close above 177 to negate this short-term downtrend, and then we're heading towards this 181 gap. Let's see where Apple is heading. Let me know in the comments below. What do you think? Can we see all-time highs before the end of 2023 on Apple, or are we going south towards the 157? Let me know in the comments below what you think. I'm very interested to know your thoughts. Tesla, you know this purple trend line. Of course you know it. You saw previous videos. We drew this purple trend line way back, and from support became resistance since September 25th. With all the green candles, this is why I say colors doesn't mean anything on candles. All you need is trend lines that shows you the way where price might be heading next. We can still have grinding up below this purple trend line, closing this gap, but to make sure and with high probability to know if bulls are back for Tesla, I want to see at least 2 days closing above this purple trend line, and then we can take long position with 243 for now. That will become our risk management. But if you also a pattern trader, pattern seeker, which clearly Fibonacci-Traders.com are not, we follow price because basically patterns are not reliable. But if you find it works for you, perfect. Look at this. Left shoulder, head, and maybe here, right shoulder, closing this gap and back to this gap. Always prepare for both sides. Never be biased to either side because no one knows what will happen. As traders, our job is to be prepared for both sides and manage risk. That's it. AMD closed 0.4 to the upside, but lower lows and lower highs and still inside this red channel. I'm looking for a weekly close above 108, and maybe then we will reassess the risk to take long. Amazon 1.8 to the upside, 129 still Let's clean the chart a little bit so we will have a better point of view of price action. And what do we see? This purple trend line for now is also irrelevant. What do we see? We have this trend line over here. From resistance, support, support. Now let's see continuation above 131, 132 towards the gap at the 135. We can take Fibonacci. And the gap is between the 50 and the 618 Fibonacci levels. Closing this gap. Let's see where price is heading. For now, we're missing one. Here we are. Above the 131.40 or wait, above 132. Then we're heading towards this gap over here. Microsoft with 2%, almost 2% bullish day. Now we have 322, 323 is the next resistance. Above it, 330. We want to see all these big names with bullish sentiment breaking this bearish sentiment since peak of July, and then we can take long on all the rest of the market, because if Apple, Amazon, Google, Microsoft, Meta will go up, the rest of the market will follow. Google 2.5%, closed this gap last Friday, now continuing towards the 135. Look up, look left. Next resistance, next major resistance is the 138, together with this white trend line. This white trend line goes way back to March of 2023, held the higher lows until it broke September 20 with a gap to the downside. Now it will become a tough resistance. We can start taking long on Google, and of course everything you see in here on my channel and in all of my videos are for educational purposes only. Never follow blindly anyone on social media. It doesn't matter how many followers they have. It doesn't matter how many subscribers they have. You don't know them, they don't know you. You don't know their risk tolerance. You don't know their trading journey, and vice versa. They don't know you. It's good to follow others, to get ideas, to learn, get educations, get mentorship. But in the end of the day, it's your money. Guys and girls, take care of your money, because no one else will do it for you. No one. Netflix, moving sideways, above the purple trend line, below the 385 area. Let's see a close above 385, and then we are heading towards the 397 area. Nvidia 3% to the upside. Very nice bullish day. Overall downtrend, bounce, not surprising. 50% retracement is the resistance now. 441 is the support. No open gaps to the downside, which means we might get some kind of a pullback towards the 441, maybe even towards the 426 before the next leg up. Meta 2.2% to the upside, but still below lower highs trend line, above higher lows trend line, moving sideways between the 298 and the 309, 308 area. Wait until you will see a significant move on Meta, and then take action. Long above this yellow trend line, short below this yellow trend line. Shopify, another day, another doji. Very tough price action on Shopify to trade, whether for day trading, because we have dojis on the daily candle, or even swing. We need to wait. Short continuation below 51.30 towards this gap at the 48 area. Long, in my opinion, only closing above this gap. First closing this gap, then closing above the 57 area, and then we are heading towards closing this gap at the 59 area. Always follow price, use levels and trend lines as your guide for future price action. Why? Because all these indicators, without any exceptions, they are all lagging, and all the strategies based on these indicators by default are lagging. No indicator can give you with high probability where price might be heading next. Fibonacci and trend lines. That's it. So I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, like, subscribe, share with friends, hit the notification bell, as we are going live 2 times a day, 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time and 12 p.m. Until the next video, stay safe.